What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first members-only chat. This was not my idea. This was Barry a Baller 18, Eric Price's idea. It's a great idea, I think, because a lot of you guys are members to this, are members of my YouTube community, and I don't really do much. Like, you guys have some emojis and stuff, and Eric was like, why don't you show us some love and do like a stream where only members can participate in the chat. So the idea today is I'll read all the questions, all the comments, as many as I can until I get tired. And you don't have to donate anything. You just have to be a member, which is like $2 a month. So if you want to participate, you got to be a member. You can. And if you don't want to participate, you can watch as I talk to Swan Song and Tom Jensen and maybe Barry Baller 18. The members only, that's a little bit before my time. Got myself a derby jacket, which looks kind of like a members only jacket, but it's a San Francisco thing. Steven, thanks for coming a new member. What are we talking about today, guys? What's up, Bay Area Baller 18? What's up, E. Kim? He says one player this team missed out on with Jimmy still on is La'el Collins. Yeah, La'el Collins signed a pretty cheap deal, right? Let's see. La'el Collins news goes to the Bengals. Signs with Bengals. Like, why didn't the Niners get him? Wanted to play with the Bengals. Let's see. What did he get? Base salary is $1.2 million in 2022. 3-year, $21 million contract. Huh. I mean, all I'm saying about that is Mike McGlinchey better be healthy for 17 games this year. He better be healthy for week 1 at least. The Niners are acting like Mike McGlinchey is going to be healthy week 1, so he better be. The thing that's crazy about that is they had this very like blase attitude about center 2 years ago. Remember that? 2020, coming off the Super Bowl. Weston Richburg didn't make it to the Super Bowl. He had a bad injury, and the Niners were like, yeah, he's coming back. It's cool. And if he doesn't, we got Ben Garland. Didn't come back, never played again. Ben Garland got hurt in training camp, and they limped into week 1 with Hronis Grasu as their center and lost. So what's the plan at right tackle? Is it like hope that Colton McKivitz or Jalen Moore holds it down for training camp and hope that Mike McGlinchey comes back for week 3? They won't say. I guess we'll find out. No, but we'll ask John Lynch before the draft, and he won't tell us. We'll be like, so what's the plan with Mike McGlinchey? And he'll be like, yeah, they're really attacking it. He's attacking it. He's attacking his rehab. Really? He's attacking it? Okay, well, is he going to play this year or ever again? Well, we'll give him some time. We'll see. It's too early to say. Okay. I don't know. The Niners really trust their depth and their ability to draft. Interesting. I don't know. Hard to say. La'el Collins would have been an easy, cheap addition. And what's funny is like they could afford him now. $1.2 million. They could afford him even with Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster. So why are the Niners so content to not sign? Is it the fact? Here's I have a theory. Maybe free agents aren't that interested in the Niners this year, because usually a free agent, once they talk about money and all that stuff, if it's like, if they have more than one team interested in them, they probably have 2 or 3 offers that are similar. And when they're weighing their options, they're probably thinking like, okay, well, who's their quarterback? Who's their quarterback? Who's their quarterback? Hey, Niners, who's your quarterback? Oh, we can't talk about that. Right? We don't know yet. Okay, well, it seems like the only people who sign with the Niners really don't care who the quarterback is this year. They're like they're playing for the future. So La'el Collins, he got to go play with Joe Burrow. There was no question about that. Tom, how you doing, man? Thanks for becoming a member. What else are we talking about today? Paraag budgets second-tier money, and that limits them to doubles in free agency. Second-tier money. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Von Miller's just too expensive, guys. J.C. Jackson, too expensive. And I think the way that Paraag Marate has been sort of operating, his whole philosophy, his whole lens that he views free agency is that like stupid teams get the top tier players. The stupid teams get into the bidding wars for the top players in free agency. The smart teams avoid those players since you're inherently going to be overpaying for them, and get the second tier guys because there's less of a competition for them. The price is more in line with their ability. That's his whole thing. And the Niners have operated that way since he got here 20 years ago. And I feel like that whole lens of looking at the salary cap in the NFL is outdated. It's like 2005, 2010. It's back when the salary cap was half of what it is. Everyone's talking about how it's going to be exploding in the future and going up 20, 25 million a year. So are we supposed to believe that the Bills are a dumb franchise because they just gave a bunch of money to Von Miller, who's an older edge rusher? Like, no, it doesn't matter. They the cap will go up. They'll be able to afford it. And in the meantime, they have Von Miller now. So Paraag would never let the Niners do that. Imagine if the Niners had Von Miller and Nick Bosa. Like, Niner fans were really fantasizing before free agency about Chandler Jones, Von Miller, that kind of an edge rusher to comp. And even I think the Niners were fantasizing about it too. There were reports that they wanted Frank Clark. What happened there? And now they settle on Kerry Hyder and Jordan Willis. Why? Because Paraag. You don't think Chris Kasarik would like to work with Von Miller? I mean, he wanted to work with D Ford, but D Ford's still on the team, and Paraag's like, look, we can only afford X, Y, Z. Go get the best players you can within these parameters, which essentially means he's making not just financial decisions, but football decisions, right? Because he limits what the Niners can pursue. Paraag makes the Niners a second-tier franchise. To be a Super Bowl winner, you got to go after these first-tier players. Like, what did the Rams do? They got Aaron Donalds, and then they surrounded him with Jalen Ramsey, tier 1 player, Matthew Stafford, tier 1 player. Boom. Super Bowl. Are you bringing back the red QC jacket? It's in the thing. I could bring it back. I could always bring it back. I'd like to get a camera that works. The Deebo chant. Please tell me this nightmare of Jimmy 2 picks is over. Oh, no. It's just getting started. Jimmy 2 picks is going to throw 2 picks in the NFC Championship next year. Is it me, or are there a lot more quality free agent left than usual? Yeah, right? There's still a bunch of guys left that the Niners could go out and get, but they're not linked to any of them. The Niners could go out and sign Tyrann Mathieu today. They could sign Stephon Gilmore today. Am I wrong about that? Those 2 guys could be on the team right now. But the Niners aren't creating cap space. They're good. They're good. Why would they want Tyrann Mathieu when you could just start Talanoa Hufanga? Why would you want to go after someone good when you can just totally hope and pray that a 5th-round pick you drafted last year is going to become a good starter in his second year when he didn't show that he was a good starter in his rookie year? Why wouldn't you want someone? I don't know. It just seems like the Niners have a really strange outlook on this offseason. Like, they're planning 8 years into the future for whatever reason. They have Deebo Samuel, 26, not exactly young. George Kittle about to be 29, and they're like, you know what? Let's just ride it out one more year. I don't get it. Why would they not want to take advantage? Like, as you're saying, more quality free agents left than usual. Probably the Niners weren't expecting this. Can you pivot? Can you react? Can you do something? Can you do something? What's wrong with that? I don't know. Like, last year they said they pivoted, right? They said we didn't expect to re-sign all our vets, but they were available and they were cheap, so we did it. Okay, well, now you have these vets available. You don't want them? And the Niners' attitude is like, look, we are all in, we're happy to call ourselves a Super Bowl roster as long as Aaron Banks, Javon Kinlaw, Diamador Lenore, and Talanoa Hufanga step up. Last year, the Niners kept calling themselves a Super Bowl roster. We have a championship roster, and that's why we need Jimmy Garoppolo. We have a championship roster. And then they all would say, we get, 2019 vibes. The vibes around this building are just crazy. The vibes. They don't talk like that anymore. No expectations. Don't know who the quarterback is. Like, actively, like, creating holes in the roster and like, whatever. Whatever. We'll get in the draft with a 3rd-round pick or next year. Whatever. I don't know. It's a whole different vibe this year. It seems like the Niners, it seems kind of like, here's what I think. I think the Niners were on the hot seat last year. I think it was pretty freaking clear that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were not going to be able to miss the playoffs for 4 times in 5. It would have been 4 times in 5 years. They had to make the playoffs. And so there was a lot of urgency last year. This year, they made the playoffs. They're good. I don't think there's any pressure coming from Jed York to make a push now. Like if Eddie DeBartolo were the owner, there'd be a lot of like he would have been out of his skull for months after how they lost the NFC Championship game. He'd never get over it. Jed's happy. Great year. We're a family. Really rallied, stuck together. Great year. Eddie would never talk like that. So I think there's no pressure. No one's on the hot seat. Everyone's got a lifetime contract essentially. Like Kyle signed through 2026. So they're like the only team thinking 8 years at a time. What other team? Every team is playing for now except for the Niners. It's like, everyone's going all in. We're going to wait and get them next year. That is 40 chess. Do we really expect the ninth to draft right this year? I mean, the Niners, maybe around 5. I never believe anything injury related to this franchise. Yo, Grant, I am fired up about Ray-Ray McCloud. The guy was a sick running back in high school. I think he gets some carries, and he's also a good route runner. Yeah, I'm thinking he's got to be a running back on this team or something. Because as a wide receiver, I don't see it. Like, he averages 6 yards a catch as a wide receiver, and he's replacing – I miss Richie James. I thought Richie James, it was actually a legit deep threat. Not like a 4-3 runner, but a good deep threat who also gives you something in screens and stuff, and it's just a straight-up better receiver than McCloud. But if you want someone like a third down back, someone you could put in the backfield and then who could like motion out to the slot and run little quick option routes, why not him? I think that's pretty cool. And I think what McCloud, if you listen to him in the opening press conference for him, I asked him like, well, how do you see yourself fitting in the offense? I've heard about we all know what you're going to do on special teams, but how are you going to fit in the offense? And he immediately was like, well, I'm really good friends with Deebo. I've known Deebo a long time. I can do what Deebo does, essentially, is what he was saying. Like, I've been waiting for a coach to let me do what the Niners let Deebo do, to believe in me that way. So maybe the Niners have another wide receiver they're thinking about converting to running back. I mean, what is he, 5'9", 190? That's not that much smaller than JaMychal Hasty. And what do they do with JaMychal Hasty anyway? I mean, Hasty's like basically a receiver for them anyway on third down. Maybe McCloud would be a better third down back than Hasty. Perhaps that's how they'll use him. I don't see how you could use him occasionally on first and second down on like gadget plays, whatever, end around, screens, reverses. But on third down, there could be a role for him. What do you think? Option routes? I think it'd be interesting if they use him as a running back. Maybe that's the Niners' new trend. When they sign a wide receiver, it's really a running back. He just needs to not fumble. Have you seen Trey BA hype trading clip yet? No, I haven't. I'm glad that they're BFFs, so it's pretty cool. Yo, Grant, if we keep Jimmy Garoppolo till he's able to go back into training again, does that mean we can then cut him and not have to pay the $7 million? Yes. If so, it makes sense to just keep him until then. I think that's what the Niners are doing. I don't think teams like to cut players a $7.5 million check on the way out at the door. Like, hey, we're cutting you, but just to make it a little softer for you, a little, softer. Here's $7.5 million. Like, no. So I think the Niners probably going to, and I guess it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face, because what's $7.5 million to the Niners? Who cares? But yeah, they're going to probably hold on to Jimmy until he can pass a physical and then try to trade him, showcase him in training camp, have those little clips like, oh my God, he's back. And then you'll have a bunch of people saying that Jimmy looks great in camp. They're going to have numbers. They're going to have spreadsheets. They're going to play him a little bit in training camp, in preseason. And if they can't trade him, which they won't, they'll cut him, probably, unless they want that third round comp pick. It seems to me that when they gave Nate Sudfeld that next contract with like $2 million guaranteed, they were not expecting to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. They gave Nate Sudfeld like backup number 2 money. But that's back when they probably thought they were going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Colts. I mean, maybe they just pivoted and they're like, we'd rather spend because think about how much money they're spending on quarterbacks. It's like 8, 9, 10 million or whatever for Trey Lance, then 27 for freaking Jimmy, and then another 2 for Sudfeld. It's got to be the most expensive quarterback room, or one of them, because they have 3 guys making money. I don't know. It seems like they don't want the plan wasn't to keep Jimmy. That's why they gave Sudfeld the money. Maybe they changed their plan. But If they cut Jimmy, at least they can roll over that cap money to next year. I'm just saying. If anyone is watching and would like to join the discussion or join Grant's Discord, please check the join button on your computer for membership to Grant Cohn. Yeah, that's probably important to say. I don't even know how to become a member to my own channel. So that's how you do it. Thank you, Josh. Is the end game on Jimmy to have him throw again to cut him without the injury designation? I think so. Or it's probably two things. If you wait until he can throw again, one, you can cut him worst case scenario, which is going to be what happens if they don't keep him, or you can showcase him in preseason. Look at him throw. Because I mean, honestly, it's a shoulder injury. Wouldn't you kind of want to see him throw? What if it's more serious than they've said? I mean, why would they tell you the truth? They're not under oath. Wouldn't you want to see for yourself how he throws a ball? What if he's compromised? What if he has even less arm strength than he had before? I'd want to know before I offer draft picks for him. Just saying. Kenyon says if the plan is to go all in on Trey next season, what is this season going to be? Play Trey and the rookies to see where they are with the whole season under their belts and build around them. Yeah. It seems like the 49ers the purpose of this season is to, I don't know, see what they have in their young guys. See what they have in Trey Lance. See what they have in Aaron Banks. See what they have in Javon Kinlaw. Sort of gauge how well they've drafted and then have a better sense of where they need to splurge in free agency next year. I think that's the logic here. Since they have so many question marks on their own young players that they've drafted, including freaking Trey Lance, and it's their fault because they didn't play him last year. They have no idea what he really can do. They have no idea what Banks can do. No idea what Trey Sermon can do. They're probably thinking like, instead of giving up on all of those young guys, let's give them a chance this year and see what happens. And then go all in next year. I don't think it's the best plan, but it's what they're doing. And I think it's a product of no one being on the hot seat this year. Eddie would keep you. I mean, Eddie fired Bill Walsh multiple times and then rehired him the next day. Like, Bill always felt he needed to perform. I think there was always a little bit of heat on that seat, even though it was freaking Bill Walsh. All you got to do is make the playoffs and fill up Levi Stadium. And Jed's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay here forever. Just stay here forever and I'll look good. You'll look good. You look good. I'll make you look good. You make me look good. Come on. Because if you don't look good, then I don't look good. Then we don't look good. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is with Jed. So I feel like there's a very complacent attitude coming from the Niners. It's just complacency, arrogance. We're good. We made the NFC Championship game last. Just trust us. Oh, we just got worse at 5 positions. You don't know that. You don't know about Aaron Banks. Have you seen Aaron Banks recently? No. Grant, assuming Trey Lance is a starter come September, what do you think is his ceiling realistically? Give a super early stats prediction if you can. I mean, I'd like to see what the offensive line is. I think he has the weapons. If George Kittle stays healthy, Deebo stays healthy, and they can protect Trey Lance, he could easily put up 25 to 20 to 20, somewhere around 25 touchdown passes, fewer than 10 interceptions, with another 5 to 10 rushing touchdowns and maybe, I don't know, 3,500 passing yards and 500, 600, 700 rushing yards, something like that. I don't know. What I think was going to be key for him is the TD to INT ratio is going to be way better than Jimmy's, is what I'm guessing. I think it's going to be 3-1 as opposed to Jimmy, who's barely 2-1. But what I'm most concerned about is how many quarterback hits is he going to take? I know he's going to break a lot of tackles, but he holds the ball longer than Jimmy Garoppolo. And if the offensive line is Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Alex Mack, Daniel Brunskill, and Colton Kivitz, how long is he going to last? He got hurt twice last year. So I don't know. I expect a good season. I think he has a lot of talent, a lot of talent around him and in the coaching staff. It should be good as long as they can protect him. Good question. Do you think we'd be better off without Lynch? Because I feel like Kyle would have got rid of Jimmy last year because he was playing Trey. Then all of a sudden it stopped. I mean, I don't see what John Lynch adds to this team anymore. I don't know why he's here. I mean, I think it's pretty. I think when he's here, I think that's why he's here. Well, first of all, Shanahan wants him. Shanahan hired him. Lynch asked to be part of the team. So if Shanahan didn't want him, he'd be gone. But I think what Lynch is for, it's not to talk in the press conferences for Kyle. Kyle talks for himself. I think it's to work the media behind the scenes. Kyle is not a networker. You know what I'm saying? Like when things happen, there's not 8 or 9 or 10 reporters or TV people that Kyle can call and be like, yo, don't tell anyone. Off the record, this is what's going on. This is my side of the story. Lynch does. Lynch is a networker. Lynch worked for Fox. He worked for a network. I mean, he was media. So when the Niners can't trade Jimmy Garoppolo and everyone's like making fun of the 49ers and it's time for him to get his story out there's any number of reporters that he can call off the record and be like, yo, this is what it is. Kyle doesn't want to do that. So that's why John's here. For the off the record spin. Someone's got to do it. Remember, I think Trent Baalke tried to do it and everyone just eviscerated him for whispering off the record. You don't think Lynch whispers off the record? How come 8 different reporters had the same exact tweet on the same exact day about why the Niners didn't trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Oh, it's just unfortunate. No one messed up. It's just the timing of the surgery. Wasn't Jimmy's fault. Wasn't Lynch's fault. Where did that come from? Oh, I don't know. I'm not even accused. I have no idea. I'm just saying. There's a function for that. Someone who can articulate your spin, your version to a wide net, national, local, and effectively spin the narrative your way. Baalke couldn't do that. He tried. He failed. Lynch has everyone thinking he doesn't leak. I don't know. I just assume they all do. So anyway, I think that's the function of John Lynch. The off the record spin. Marty, thank you. Damian, Grant, if we keep Jimmy, I think we will finally have a competition in camp. There is no excuse for not giving Trey a shot this next season. God help the Niners if they don't give Trey an actual opportunity. I don't like having a competition with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. It does a disservice to both quarterbacks. You have limited reps in the offseason anyway. Pick a quarterback and go with him. Give him all the reps. Because even all the reps in training camp isn't really enough. 15 years ago, there were double days. When Joe Montana and Bill Walsh were doing training camp in the 80s and 90s and winning Super Bowls, they were practicing way longer, many more reps to perfect the intricate patterns of the West Coast offense. They don't have that anymore. So now you're going to cut that in half for Trey Lance, who already lacks experience. Like, how could you make things, how could you set him up for failure anymore? Plus, there's roster politics that Jimmy Garoppolo fans never want to acknowledge. The fact that so many players on this team already just believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Trey, no matter what. No matter how many times Jimmy throws picks to linebackers, it doesn't matter. It's his professionalism or whatever. So I think the competition in camp would be a freaking it would be a joke. It would be a circus. But what they're going to do is just give Jimmy all the starting reps. What they're going to do is pretend that Jimmy's a starting quarterback just for the sake of trying to trade him again. You can't have him be the backup. They're going to give him all the starting reps. Trey's going to be with the backups again. And then they'll probably just start Jimmy again. Because, you know, the Patriots cut Cam Newton. That's what the Patriots did with Cam. They had him starting in camp. Mac Jones was with the twos. They were showcasing him, and then they just cut him. I don't think the Niners can do that with Jimmy. He's too popular in the locker room. Cam Newton had no equity in that locker room. I don't know. I keep feeling like the Niners are really going to hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo just to appease the locker room again and get that comp pick. Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong on this. Because I keep thinking that's how the Niners do business. Get the $90 eighth off the squad, sign Gilmore. Yeah. I'm guessing they're going to restructure more contracts to get under the cap for draft picks. Man, maybe. Desire a Dreamcast or GameCube, not Gamecast. What? What? I'm tired of hearing 2019 vibes. Running it back in revenge tour. If Jimmy starts in game one season, my interest in the season will go down. I'm like 15 minutes behind. Let me like kind of scroll through and catch up, if you don't mind. Matthew Sanders says, truth is if all goes according to plan, it will take 10 years to know if Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and Trey pulled it off. They're thinking West Coast Patriots are bust. 10 years? 10 years? No. We're not giving them a 10-year plan. No. Just win now. You play for now. You play to win now. 10 years? Was it Jed York? Thanks, Jed. No, I'm playing. Sorry, Matthew. I'm sorry. Did you expect UCLA to beat UNC last night? I don't know. I don't follow. I watched it with my wife, and we were like, yay, they're winning. And then they were like, when they lost, we were like, and then we just went on with our lives. That's what happened. That's pretty much a recreation of my night last night. You see any truth to the Saquon for Jimmy rumors? You tell me there. Show me the Saquon for Jimmy. There's no way. Saquon Barkley, Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no way. What? Oh, snap. Would that work? Saquon Barkley. Jeez, man. Why? That's such a mistake. That's such a mistake. See, Saquon Barkley was really good for like 2.5 years. 2 years. Running backs last for like 2 years. Have you guys noticed that? Christian, doesn't matter who they are. Maybe some Frank Gore is the anomaly, but so far, like right now, they last about 2 years. I don't want Saquon Barkley. The whole purpose of getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo isn't to bring in a broken down running back. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, I don't like that. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Deebo's your running back. Just embrace it. He's Roger Craig. That's his spot. Sorry. He's not Jerry Rice. He's Roger Craig. That's your running back now. Saquon Barkley. Jeremy Smith. Thank you very much, Jeremy. I had to hop in, say hello, and join. Also, I've decided not wearing Niners anymore. QC merch. Take my money. Mad love. God, I got to put some quality control merch out there. Yeah. I got to think of more ways to make money. Merch. I don't have that kind of time, though. Jay Mangold says, anyone watching and wants to join in, membership starts at $1, $2. You will also gain access to Grant's Discord. Over 200 of us in there. Please look for the join button on your screen. Thanks. That's right. Next moves for the offseason. Draft day trade of Greenlaw, Jimmy gets cut, Honey Badger, or PJ Williams. Honey Badger. I think Honey Badger would be a nice addition to this team. I mean, he's a little old. Richard Sherman was a little old. Sherman had a positive impact on the defense, didn't he? Even though he couldn't run. Turnovers help. Turnovers are good. The Niners need to get in like the top half of the league in turnover differential for once. How about Honey Badger? Any advice getting into sports journalism? Yeah. Any advice getting into sports journalism? Yeah, start building up your own platform. Don't wait to get a job somewhere before you build up for their platform. Build up your own platform on Twitter. Build up your own platform on YouTube. Start doing it. Don't wait for a job. Just start writing, start talking, start doing the job. That's how you get the job. People see you already do it. And if you want a credential, start applying for any job that'll get you, blogs, newspapers. But you're probably going to not get a full-time job first off. You're probably going to be like a independent contractor. And that's fine. Like you having your platform, the more you increase your platform, the more you increase their platform, the more they like you, the more employable you are. So you just start doing it. You don't need a newspaper to give you a forum anymore. You control your own distribution. So that's what I would say. How about that? Start doing it. Look at Vish. Look at Amin. I mean, these guys are already starting to do it. Ben Meyerson, Jesse Naylor. They're not waiting for someone to say, hey, you're really great. You're on our team. They're just doing it. That's how you do. That's how you do. What are you guys talking about? What would you say will become one of the more used red zone threats with Lance? Would it be someone on the team currently, or could it be a draft guy? I mean, I think the Niners' red zone threats right now through the air are Ayuk and Jennings. It's not Deebo or Kittle. Now, Deebo is a red zone threat on the ground. Deebo is just a phenomenal running back, and he can score touchdowns from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 yards out. But as far as receivers go, it's not Kittle sometimes, but really Kittle has 11 red zone touchdowns in his career. And it's not Deebo has 10 receiving touchdowns in his career. I saw someone yesterday compare him to Jerry Rice, that he could get to that level at some point. I don't know about that. Jerry Rice got to Jerry Rice's level by year 2. He had 15 receiving touchdowns year 2, 22 receiving touchdowns year 3. I don't think Deebo's going to get there. I don't think anyone's going to ever be the next. Jerry Rice was the best football player of all time. He's better than Joe Montana. He's arguably the best athlete ever, like a better athlete than Muhammad Ali, a better athlete than Michael Jordan. So I wouldn't put to me, Deebo is like Roger Craig with more speed. Roger Craig who can run a go route. But I mean, I don't trust his hands. Throw him the ball, he could drop it at any time. Maybe that's why, and he has really short arms. Maybe that's why they don't go to him in the red zone very much. But I think they need to get a red zone guy. They need another tight end. Could they get a number 2 tight end that they actually throw the ball to? Like, the whole thing I liked about with Ross Dwelley is that he's 6'5" with terrific hand-eye coordination. Why would you not go to him in the red zone? Not Jennings is 6'3" with good hand-eye coordination, and Ayuk is 5'11" with really long arms and good hand-eye coordination. But they could use a backup tight end that they would use in the red zone, because as great as Kittle is, they don't go to him in the red zone. And usually that's the tight end's main role in the passing game. Touchdowns, the red zone. So Kittle's good for yards after the catch and blocking. That's what he gives you. How about a number 2 tight end you actually freaking use in the red zone? Could have been Dwelley. You don't want Dwelley, someone. It would help. Now, it's nice that you can just hand off to Deebo, and that's as simple as that. But I'm just throwing that out there. Hot take, McCloud will have more total yards than Jennings. Wow. Okay. I mean, I thought Jennings, hold on. I thought Jennings was pretty efficient this past year. Let me look up his advanced numbers. Juwan Jennings. Okay, advanced. All right, yeah. When targeted this last year, when Niner quarterbacks targeted Juwan Jennings this past year, their quarterback rating was 114. 114. I don't see why you would want to give him it seems like when someone's that efficient and young, what you do is you give them more opportunities. That's just how I work. I mean, let's look at like all the receivers. Okay, so Ross Dwelley led all receivers. When he was targeted, the Niners quarterback rating was 148.7. 148.7. 5 targets, 4 catches, 1 touchdown. Only 5 targets. Don't get me started. Number 2, Brandon Ayuk. 118.5 quarterback rating when targeted. 118.5. How ridiculous was that doghouse that he was in? 118.5. Saved the season by actually being used. Maybe they wouldn't have started 3-5 if he had been on the field ahead of Trent Sherfield. Okay, Juwan Jennings, number 3, 114.3. These are 2 guys that are young that need more targets. Brandon Ayuk got 84 targets. He should probably have 100 minimum. Juwan Jennings got 38 targets. He should probably have 50 minimum. But Deebo needs more targets. Kittle needs more targets. I mean, it just seems like they're pretty good at wide receiver. Juwan Jennings had 5 touchdowns and 38 targets. He had 15 first downs and 38 targets. No, after that, Elijah Mitchell, 111. I thought Elijah Mitchell's underused on screens. He's nice on screens. And then use check 107. Deebo 106. Werner 102. Kittle 100. Can we please trade Kittle now? Oh my God, can we please? Kittle, what's up with that? Anyway. So yeah, I don't see McCloud having more yards. I'm sorry. I don't see McCloud. So I disagree with your hot take on that one, but I'm probably wrong. You're right about Arden Key. Hey Grant, when you trying to connect to buy your house? I got an agent in San Jose waiting for you. Man, I got an agent in Oakland looking for me already. But thank you. I'm not ready to make the move down to San Jose just yet. I see Deebo getting franchised and possibly working out an extension or be traded. Bosa will have 5th-year option with a possible extension or traded. I don't know, man. The Niners are a family. They take care of their guys. They're a family. Kittle's going to have a lifetime contract. Doesn't matter how many times he goes to IR. He's their family. Got to keep Kittle. Deebo is such a part of their marketing. I mean, they profit off of Deebo. They profit off of Kittle. How do they sell season tickets? Their faces. I don't know. I feel like the Niners are going to keep extending their own guys. They really haven't had a good track record extending their own guys. And I always say that they should. But I mean, Fred Warner didn't have a good year after signing the extension. George Kittle hasn't really been the same since signing his extension. Eric Armstead never has recreated 2019, his contract year when he got his extension. But it goes longer than that. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo never lived up to his extension. Dee Ford never lived up to his extension that the Niners gave him. Trent Williams, so far so good. Colin Kaepernick didn't work out. Navarro Bowman, now he got hurt, still didn't work out. The Niners love rewarding their own, building from within, not splurging in free agency. Give that money to your players. What's it say to your culture? That's Paraag. What's it going to do to your culture to just give up? What does it say? All these guys that you drafted, you developed, doing everything the right way, and you give that money to some guy from some other team. What does that say? It's going to be mutiny. It's going to be anarchy. That's how the Niners act. Like, they have to reserve all the money for their own players, and then they give it to Eric Armstead, and they're like so surprised. It's like, oh wait, just because we wanted him to be DeForest Buckner doesn't mean he is. Darn. Are there any other examples of the Niners giving out extensions that just didn't work out? Probably. You already know. I love Chicago. That was a lot of fun. LA Faithful says, can the Niners make a move to move up in the draft to get Christian Watson if Trey Lance pushes for it? Trey Lance. He's not even the starting quarterback yet. Hey, Kyle. Hey, John. Here's what we're going to do, guys. I would love that. The NFL is so regimented, like the military, like he would never even think to talk like that. But anyway, if the Niners trade is going to be down, not up, how about, I would think they're not trading up. Do you think they would trade up? I don't know. I guess they have 9 picks. They could trade up, huh? Anyway, I don't think they're going to trade up if Trey Lance asks for it. They missed on a tight end 2 in free agency. Hooper went for $6 million, Hurst 3.5, OJ 3.5. One of those guys would have been nice. Yeah. So what's the plan? I mean, Werner? Maybe they'll bring back Dwelly. I'll be so happy if they bring back Dwelly. Kyle's system, player talent, how they operate. It's true, right? Like, all the players they've signed this offseason, except for Ray-Ray McCloud, have been defense. I mean, special teams, but defense. Burks, Odom, Ridgeway, Denard, Dante Johnson. Am I missing anyone? They just signed defense. On offense, it's like, get a couple 5th-round picks thrown in there. It's all Kyle anyway. Look at it with George Kittle. He was a 5th-round pick. It's all Kyle anyway. It's funny. Kyle is extremely arrogant that way. But so is Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly thought the same exact way, that his system was superseded talent. The problem was that Chip Kelly's system was so bad. It was really played out. Kyle's system actually is good, so he really can keep telling himself, like, I create these guys. Possible. Bring back Ross the Boss. If only. If only. It's a disappointment having all this talent, top 4 team in the league, only to be limited by Jimmy Garoppolo. He's wasting these elite players' prime time. Yes. I'm going to read that again. Damian says, it's a disappointment having all this talent, top 4 team in the league, only to be limited by Jimmy Garoppolo. He's wasting these elite players' prime. I mean, Trent Williams is going to be 34 in July. Misses time every year. Has had cancer. Best player in the league, but like, this is football. Things change really fast. George Kittle has missed 11 games the last 2 years, and you're thinking, he'll bounce back. He'll be fine. What's the timetable on his career? Deebo too. How long is Deebo going to be the best player in the league? That's what he is right now. That's why the Niners made it as far as they did. Deebo being the best player in the league. How much longer is that going to last? Is it over already? Why is there complacency here? It's crazy. And then it's all because, like, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter trying to, my whole thing is I hold the Niners to a high standard because I think they're falling short of their standard from the past. A lot of people feel like actually this group isn't that far off from Eddie's group, and Eddie's kind of over romanticized, and they didn't have a salary cap, and they had Joe Montana. Just had Joe Montana. No, they picked Joe Montana. They drafted Joe Montana. They developed Joe Montana. They were smart enough to get him. The Niners are still. They could have had Patrick Mahomes. They didn't want Patrick Mahomes. They didn't want Deshaun Watson. They wanted Jimmy. That was their plan. They've had any number of opportunities to change the plan, pivot, do something else. Tom Brady made it easy on him. He was like, yo, you don't need to take me. And they're like, oh, man, you're washed up. Sorry, bud. And he was like, I am. Watch me go win the Super Bowl. Like, it's their fault. So you could compare the results of Bill Walsh and Kyle Shanahan through the first 5 years of their career. And honestly, actually, Kyle has a better win-loss record. They both went to the Super Bowl year 3. They both went to the NFC Championship game and lost year 5. You could argue that Kyle's right there with Bill Walsh. What's the difference? Well, Bill won a Super Bowl in year 3. And then in year 6, which is what Kyle's entering right now, he went 15-1 without Jerry Rice. He wasn't even on that team. They drafted him the next year. 15-1. Guy who led the team in catches that year? Who was it? Roger Craig. 15-1. Joe Montana led the league in passer rating. They beat Dan Marino in the Super Bowl. They were a juggernaut. Got their second Super Bowl. Are the Niners going to do that this year? Are they about to go 15-1? No. I mean, probably not. Because they don't have Joe Montana or Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. So, yeah, it is disappointing. This team really is that good, right? They have they have like a superstar at every spot. Trent Williams, superstar. Deebo, superstar. Nick Bosa, superstar. Fred Warner, superstar. But a quarterback. Yeah. Roger Craig, Hall of Fame, please. Honestly, man. If you go back and look, he was the leading receiver on that 84 team that went 15-1. I mean, I think Dwight Clark had the most receiving yards, but Roger Craig had the most catches. He had 71 catches that year. Playing fullback. The starting running back was Wendell Tyler. Roger Craig really broke on that year and didn't carry him, but he was one of the best players on a Super Bowl, on a team that lost one game. Anyway, the Niners have that guy right now. His name is Deebo Samuel, but you could even argue that Deebo's better than Roger Craig. Like, runs just like him, but a more dangerous receiver. They have a super Roger Craig on their team right now. They should be all in to win the Super Bowl. He's a much better player than Tyreek Hill. He's a much better player than Tyreek. Tyreek Hill averaged 4 yards after the catch per reception last year. Deebo averaged 10. 10. Like, it didn't matter where he got the ball. It was first down. Who's calling me? I don't know you. Yeah, so the Niners have like a cheat code on their team, and they're thinking about 2 years from now. Because, again, they're thinking about the quarterback position. They're thinking about two things: the salary cap going up next year, and the quarterback position. Like, oh, we don't know enough about Trey Lance to make an all-in move now. It's not about the quarterback position. It's about having Deebo now. That's why you go all in. Like, you almost won in spite of your quarterback position this year because he's that good. By the time you finally feel confident in one of your quarterbacks, Deebo will be 28 or whatever. He'll be almost 30. And you'll probably be looking for the next Deebo. You know what I'm saying? A little urgency would be cool. Walsh was brilliant at analyzing an opponent's weakness and destroying them with it. Kyle can only optimize his team. Can he optimize his team? It took him till week 10 last year to realize. It took him until week 10 last year to figure out that Brandon Ayuk was a better wide receiver than Trent Sherfield. Like, he didn't get that in August, September, or October. He had to be 3-5 to really look at the tape and be like, you know what? Damn, man, we should probably throw the ball to number 11. I gotta say that Ayuk probably is better. I was wrong, guys. Sorry. I was a little too excited about Trent Sherfield. I like the way he ran his routes in training camp, but, we're going to actually go back to Ayuk now. Can he optimize his team? Every single year, the defense is better than the offense. Every single year. He can't figure out who the best quarterback on the team is. Or he knows and can't, he can't stand up for himself. He's like, hey, can we start Trey? Everyone's like, shut up. He's like, okay, sorry. That's not happening. He couldn't figure out who the best quarterback was. He thought Mike McGlinchey was good. I mean, he spent tons of money on Jerick McKinnon. Loved Dante Pettis. I don't know about Kyle. What does Kyle do so well? It's going to be interesting to see Kyle and McDaniel apart. What did McDaniel do? Was it something? Was it nothing? I don't know. Yeah, but I see a lot of people comparing Kyle and Walsh and being like, well, Kyle didn't have Montana. There's a reason. He wanted Kirk Cousins. That's all he wanted. He didn't ask for much in life. He just wanted a little Kirk Cousins. Trade Kittles for Christian Watson. I love that. Trade Kittles for Christian Watson. I like that. I floated trade Kittles for DK Metcalf on Twitter. People lost their freaking mind. 80% of people said no. DK Metcalf had a better year than Kittle last year. He's 5 years younger than Kittle. He's never missed a game. And he's the exact kind of player that would pair well with Trey Lance. Is the exact kind of player you're looking for. Lance isn't going to be checking down to his tight end over and over and over and over and over again like Jimmy Garoppolo. No. He's going to be throwing down the field while Kittle's blocking because they need an extra blocker because their right tackle sucks. Sorry. Kids are watching. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm down. Trade Kittle for an actual deep threat wide receiver because I don't think the tight end is going to be as much of a focus since the quarterback can throw the ball more than 10 yards. And, yeah, Kittle used to be a really great runner, but now the more he runs, the more he gets hurt, right? So maybe that's why he blocks a lot. Just saying. What is up with D Ford? Is he not playing this year for sure? Oh, no, he'll give it a shot. He wants to play. He signed a contract. He's going to honor it. So he'll go out there. He'll look great in training camp. He can run around in practice. It's not an issue of knees or ankles or soft tissue. It's his back. So he'll play a few games. He'll actually have some contact in a tackle football game, and then his back will get hurt again. That's what happens every time. And then won't play anymore, but the Niners will pay him his full salary. Can you blame him? It's not his fault. His job is to do everything he can to try to be healthy. And if his back breaks down, that's the Niners' fault. They checked him out. They decided to give him an extension. Chiefs knew. Niners thought they knew better. That's their fault. It's not D's fault. D's job is to keep getting those checks. And he's doing a great job at that. Sorry. It's a business. Would you take a 6th-round pick in 28-9 for Jimmy? I think that would be great. I would take that today. Which road games are you attending next season? We know about Chicago. I mean, all of them. I'd like to go to all of them. I haven't booked anything yet because the dates haven't come out, but the plan is to go to all of them. I might miss a couple, but probably not. Who will play in more games? D4, Jimmy G, Sudfeld, over under, total, a lot combined. Oh my goodness. Man, that's a dark question. I don't really want to touch that. If I say Sudfeld, that's terrible, right? I don't know. Yikes. I don't know. Vegas meet and greet soon, possibly. Yeah. Oh, besides Vegas meet and greet soon. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Maybe I could do one before Vegas in the next couple weeks. Let me think about that. Yeah. Sounds good. Let me think about that. Okay. Hate that we have to play 10 versus 11 with Jimmy as a starting quarterback. We was arguing with Jimmy Stans about this trade would make it 11 versus 11. Thank you. I think that's all you pretty much have to say. Jimmy Stans are always talking about, completion percentage or whatever. Like, that's just because he checks the ball down all the time. What I care about is it's a run first team. I want to play 11 on 11, not 10 versus 11. As great as they have Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell, maybe the best 1-2 punch in the NFL, plus George Kittle, the best blocking tight end, plus Juszczyk, plus Trent Williams, plus Laken Tomlinson, 16th in yards per attempt. Why? Jimmy. Why? 10 on 11 football. If you had just had Trey Lance on the field running the exact same plays, handing off the exact same way, they would have gotten like half a yard extra on the season and probably been top 8 in yards per attempt just because they're 11 on 11. The threat of him running once a game. And he'll run more than once a game. The threat. We've seen this. Colin Kaepernick had the same impact. And then just less turnovers, less sacks, less negative plays. It's going to be big with Trey Lance. People are going to overanalyze the crap out of him. Oh, he missed this one throw. He's not accurate enough. He's not accurate enough. Okay, well, he didn't throw the ball to the linebacker today. Oh, guess what? He had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions today. But his completion percentage was only 59. Ooh. He only got sacked twice, even though his offensive line was giving up pressure left and right. As opposed to the guy he replaced who would just stand there and take the hit. So, yeah, I'm excited for 11 on 11 football. I think it's going to be cool. Trey will make the offense elite if they can block for him. Yep. I believe they were number 1 on D and offense that year. 84? I think so. How do you feel about our schedule this year? What are games to watch? What do you predict our record being? I don't know. They're all good games. So they got the AFC coming. They play the entire AFC West. So it seems like the Niners, this is not going to be a season where they're going to be able to run the ball 40 times a game. They're probably going to have to throw more than they are used to, more than they would like, which again means they should probably sign some offensive linemen. I'm just saying. Are they really going to beat Russell Wilson and the Broncos running 40 times? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what else we got. Grant, I think it's hypocritical for you to say Jimmy G has benefited from his looks without admitting your looks have helped your career. Thanks, HR. I appreciate it. You're right. I absolutely am. I'm really terrible at my job, but I'm terrible. Like, people hate me on Twitter because they can't see this face. But I come on YouTube and people just swoon. And they just give me their money because of, I don't know, my hairline, my jawline, my sexy stubble. You tell me, HR. It's just the eyes, huh? I just lock in. Thank you very much. Your dad doing better after your mother's passing. Also, which road games are you attending? All of them. And my dad is doing better. He's been doing therapy, and he's been doing this thing called EMDR, which my wife does. She's trained to actually, I don't know if you know what EMDR is, but if you've ever gone through intense trauma, you probably have done it. Anyway, it's called bilateral stimulation. I've never done it. But anyway, it's like a scientific thing, and it really does help people get through trauma. So he's been doing that and doing better. I'm 17 years old and guarantee I can run the Niners better than you are. I'm with it, man. I like it. I'm going to tell York that he said that. I know the 17-year-old, he thinks he's better than you, Jed. What do you think about that? So why isn't Deebo working out with Lance and Ayuk? Because Deebo wants to hang out in Miami. Where are Lance and Ayuk? I don't know. Deebo standing for Jimmy too? I think Deebo likes whoever gives him the ball. So Jimmy's cool with him. Trade Kittle for pick 15 from the Eagles. Trade down to 28. Use what you get. Dude, they can't trade Kittle anymore because they extended him. They can't trade him anymore. I can't believe they extended his contract. I can't believe they did that. They did that to troll me. No question. The 49ers are so unrealistic when it comes to injuries. I mean, really, the only thing that's held the Niners back since Kyle Shanahan's been here is Jimmy and injuries. And last year was just 1 year where they didn't have a ton of injuries, and they're like, "Oh, that issue's over. Whew. Good, we don't have to worry. Good thing we don't have to worry about that anymore." Really? Maybe if you just prioritize healthy people, it would never be an issue, or it would be less of an issue, and you'd be good every year. But no, the Niners have never had back-to-back seasons, back-to-back winning seasons under Kyle. They've had back-to-back seasons, not back-to-back winning seasons. And they just had a very long, grueling year where it was road game after road game after road game, players playing through all kind of injuries. The last time the Niners did something like that, they had an awful year the next year. The Super Bowl hangover was all over them. They looked spent in 2020, and they were all hurt right away. Is that going to happen again this year? I hope not. Because those extra games add up. They played 3 extra games last year. That's a lot. Ken says, we good. Trey Lance, first-year starter, QB college, 14 games, 27 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 12 rushing touchdowns. Jimmy, 8 games, 14 TDs, 13 interceptions, 0 rushing yards. Yeah. Everyone talks about how Jimmy's a winner. What about Trey? He never lost in college. He's lost 1 game, and it was to the Cardinals since high school. What about him? Kittle is basically a right tackle that gets 1,000 receiving yards. No, you can't put him one-on-one against a defensive end and pass. He will get thrown. He's a good run blocker. He's an excellent run blocker as a tight end, but you can't put him one-on-one in pass protection against a defensive end. And he hasn't had 1,000 receiving yards since 2019. You know, that's what they hoped he would be, but that's not what he is anymore. Kittle is basically, an excellent run blocker and a guy whose value in the passing game is diminishing every year. He's never really had value in the red zone. His value has been big plays, down the field after the catch, explosive plays. Less and less. It still comes here and there, but less and less. Swan Song says trade Kittle to the Eagles. Man, I got you with that. Donis from UCLA. I saw him in person. He was cool. He was pretty good. Did he get hurt though? I don't know. If we aren't getting 2019 Kittle, what's the point? If they're so concerned about blocking, shore up the line. That's what I'm saying, man. They could just get a better offense. We don't need the best blocking tight end. And plenty of teams have won the Super Bowl without the best blocking tight end. Every team in history has won a Super Bowl, didn't have Kittle. So you don't have to have Kittle to win a Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure. It can be done. Rams did it this year. Who was their tight end? Higbee? He's good enough. Grant, I've been a fan of you forever. People can handle the truth you provide. I love it. Thank you, Troy. I've been a fan of yours too, secretly. Feel like Trey is the type of player to be clutch in tight situations, and he'll come through in some big games for us. As opposed to what? As opposed to who? Just to remind y'all, Grant still got a better beard than Jimmy. It's just facts. Thank you. And it's kind of, I gotta trim it up. It's a little bit beyond the stubble today. Thank you, Mark. Can't wait for Trey. Dude, Niners had mad injuries last year too. Verrett and Mostert lost in week 1. Deebo hurt at the end. Trent Williams hurt at the end. Kittle on IR for the middle of the season. Jeff Wilson Jr. too. I mean, I wouldn't say that's mad injuries. Every team has injuries. No team has no injuries. They did lose Verrett and Mostert. That was big, but Mostert was hurt the year before. Verrett's hurt every single year. Deebo was hurt, but again, everyone's playing through stuff at the end of the year. That's just football. In NFL terms, they had a very good year in terms of injuries last year, I would have to say. Quite a good year. Kittle will get more deep seams and overs like Vernon used to do now that we have Trey at the helm. Yeah, unless he hurts himself running like he has the last 2 years. So they got to be careful of him. Hey, Grant, watching you forever, figured it's time to become a member. LOL. All I'm saying is Kittle better stay healthy. He better. Because I don't want to be like, if he gets hurt during the year, I don't want to do like an I told you so tweet, because that's not fun. I don't want to kick a guy when he's down. But that's what I'll be thinking. Sorry. This is a win-win situation. If Kittle balls out and doesn't get injured again, if he doesn't, we all can say we told you so. Yeah. I don't want to say I told you so in the Kittle situation, but if he is healthy, you guys are all going to tell me. So that's fine. I'll take that. Let's see. I'm hoping they use Jeff Wilson Jr. more this year. Maybe he wasn't fully healthy. That's why he wasn't used. Yeah, they'll probably use him more this year. But that's the thing with running backs. Once they break down, they keep breaking down. 2 years is the shelf life of running backs. If Trey beats some of the AFC West, I don't want to hear anybody talking about Jimmy being better, because I guarantee Jimmy would go 0-4 against the AFC West. Probably. When is the Iggy members only merch dropping? I don't know. I got to work on stuff like that. I don't have time. Shamelessly working on merch. That's what journalism has become. Mark, thank you for becoming a member. All right. Well, this has been really fun. First members only chat I've ever done. What do you guys think? Was it good? Was it good for you? Did you like it? We could do this more in the future. I think this was a good little feature to add. Got to give some, special attention to my members. Thank you for becoming members. Thank you for watching me and spending money on me. I appreciate it. I will definitely do this again. I will continue to do Cohn phones too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about interaction, baby. I will. All right, guys. I will see you later. Barry Baller, thank you for the idea. And if you guys have any other ideas, let me know. Also, Twitter wants, I can do super follows on Twitter. Should I? What do you think? Well, before I go, should I do that? What do you think? Is it worth it? Or should I seems like all of my, just kind of, I don't know. Possible thoughts? I don't even know what I would do. Like, you pay money to follow me on Twitter for what? I don't get it. Think about it. You guys are telling me you want merch. Would you like to follow me would you want to super follow me on Twitter? Is that something that you would be interested in? If so, why? I don't get it. Seems like we're all here. Like, why would we be there when we're here? See what I'm saying? So I don't even know how it works. Anyway, next time I do a Cohn phone, tell me what you think. Because I don't know. Seems like more work that I don't really want to do. I don't know. I'll see you guys later.